it is a stressful time to be alive right now. Give me the strength and the courage to actually do something. You give yourself a whole bunch of accountability, but no grace, you're going to stress yourself out of your mind. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cabin Checks. My name is Brandon Burns, and today we're going to be going over some strategies for stress management. In case you haven't noticed, this is probably the most stressful time to be alive in recent human history. Between pandemic a couple of years ago and now geopolitics is out of control. Even politics just in this country are a little bit heated, very polarized right now. The economy is suffering. I mean, it is a stressful time to be alive right now, whether you are in college and you're a student and you're just getting things started with your career, or whether you're a seasoned vet, you're a pro, and you've been around for a long time, you've seen a lot. It's still a very unique set of circumstances and environments that we're facing right now that honestly has just led to a whole lot of stress and anxiety for a lot of people. So in this video, I want to give you a really quick 5-step formula for managing and mitigating stress. Whenever you feel stressed, obviously you have to recognize that feeling first. So it's not enough to, after you blow up on somebody, you cuss somebody out or you freak out, right? It's not enough to say, oh, dang, I probably was a little stressed and overwhelmed right there, and that's why I reacted the way that I did. You need to start to be more in tune with your body, and really you do that just by simply being present. Be where your feet are, right? Start to tap into, how do I feel right now? Just literally check in with yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Instead of, passing somebody in the hallway and they say, hey, how you feeling? And you really don't think about it and you give them some canned, scripted response. Check in with yourself and actually be truthful about what the answer is. Like, hey, Brandon, how do you feel right now? Like, are you good? Or do we need to take a second and really just focus on what's happening and do something about it and use some of these strategies to mitigate that stress? So the prerequisite for what I'm showing you here is self-awareness, right? My guy Mustafa Ghonim, he always says everything starts and stops with self-awareness. If you don't have that awareness, that presence, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to actually execute these strategies. So once you recognize that you are stressed, all right, I want you to slow down, and breathe. All right. I know this sounds like, gee, thanks, this is groundbreaking advice, but I'm telling you, the last thing that you want to do when you are stressed out is speed up. So many of it, I'm just going to speak for the workaholic entrepreneur / athlete community, because I'm in both of those communities, and this is super prevalent for both of those populations. We think that when we get stressed, the go-to answer is to just bulldoze through whatever is stressing us out and do more, try and get more done faster, be more efficient. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. I'll answer my own question. It doesn't make sense, right? So what we cannot do is bury that stress and expect it not to come up again later just because we bulldoze through it. Slow down. Now, when I say slow down, I'm telling you, I am a high performance person myself. I am big on optimizing my productivity. I'm extremely hard on myself and have extraordinarily high standards for myself. I'm not saying take 30 minutes and go cry in the corner. I'm saying take 30 seconds, catch yourself, regain your presence, get into your own body, do some breath work really quick, 2 inhales, long exhale. Ready? Do that 5 or 6 times, and already your sympathetic nervous system will begin to adapt. Already, just from this, just take 30 seconds and just breathe. And I'm telling you, it's going to bring you back into the present moment. And now we're going to be in more of a clear frame of mind to actually deal with and handle whatever is causing the stress. Okay. Number 2, we need to identify the cause. I'll just say identify cause, right? Identify the cause of your stress. What is making you feel this way? I'm a big list person. Grab a note on your phone and just start typing out what is stressing me out right now. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. What is stressing me out right now? And be honest with yourself. Like, don't judge it. I think that's the thing that people mess up when they do an exercise like this, is they start judging themselves as they write. And they're like, well, I shouldn't be stressed over this, so I'm going to throw that out. Or this has been going on for the last 3 years. I don't know why it's coming up now, so I'm not going to write that down. Everything that is stressing you out, write it down, okay? Until we get clarity, until this becomes tangible and real, we can't deal with it. If it's just this esoteric feeling that we can't identify it, we don't know where it came from, what it is, what to do with it, nothing's gonna ever get better. Make it tangible, make it real by writing it down. Like, writing is so powerful. You are literally taking it from the thought world to the physical world by taking it out of your head and putting it on paper. So identify what's causing that stress and write a list. Now, the third thing I want you to do is differentiate between what you can and can't control. All right, I'm just gonna write the word control because I don't have too much room on this whiteboard, but what can I control? What can I not control? You got to differentiate between those two sets or those two categories of your stressors or of your triggers, right? You need to know, okay, this is something that is legitimately outside of my control. It is rainy, it is gross outside, and I am like super affected by the weather, and that's just making me mad at everything. Like, the weather just sucks, and I don't have a bad attitude about it. It's like, okay, cool. You can't really fix that. Now, you can turn more lights on in your office or whatever it is that you need to do, but you really can't fix that, all right? And it reminds me of the Serenity Prayer, right? If you're spiritual at all, definitely go check that out. It's a great prayer where you're basically saying, hey, help me differentiate and distinguish between what I can and cannot control. Help me accept what I can't control. You know, it's cloudy, it's rainy, it is what it is. It's not going to kill anyone, all right? And then help me get control over what I can control. Give me the strength and the courage to actually do something about things that I can control. That's really all this process is here. I'm going to call it control/serenity, all right? Because that's really what it is. This is the serenity step right here, okay? Figure out what you can and can't control. Just make peace with the things that you can control and let that go as much as you can, because that stuff is not up to you anyway. That's up to God, the universe, however you choose to conceptualize it, but it's certainly not up to you. The things that you can control, well, that's where step 4 comes in, all right? Step 4, make a plan. So the things that you can control from step 3, start making a step-by-step plan. What is the smallest, most incremental thing that I can do right now to chip away at one of these things on my list that I can control, right? So if finances is one of those things that is on your list of stressors or triggers that you can control, then we would say, what is the simplest thing, the most bite-sized, tiny little step that I can take right here, right now? And maybe for you, the answer is create a budget. Maybe it's don't go to Starbucks today, drink black coffee from your coffee maker at home. Like, whatever it is, what is the smallest thing that I can do to start taking a step towards mitigating whatever that stressful trigger is that I am in control of? And start listing it out. Because what I found for a lot of people is the stress doesn't even come from the triggers themselves. The stress comes from not knowing what to do about it. The stress comes from feeling like it's going to be this way forever. The stress comes from, I'm in this situation, I don't like how I feel, and I don't see a way out. That's what real stress is. And so if you can simply say, here's what I'm in control of, I've made peace with everything else, here's what I'm in control of, here's some small steps I can begin taking to actually remedy some of this stuff. Now, even if your situation hasn't changed in the present moment, you have hope for a better future. And that's one of the most powerful things that any human being can have. So make a plan. And last but not least, grace and gratitude, okay? Have some grace with yourself. As you start going through this process of really taking these chunks out of those controllable triggers, give yourself a little bit of grace. If you didn't go to Starbucks today, going back to that financial example, if you didn't go to Starbucks today and you did have black coffee today from your coffee maker at home, like, celebrate that. Celebrate those small wins. Have gratitude for yourself and the steps that you're taking, and let yourself feel that, right? And then, of course, grace. You're not going to go from 0 to millionaire or from obese to bodybuilder in 2.5 days, right? Give yourself some grace. So gratitude for the small wins. Give yourself some grace, but I'm actually going to add one here. It's grace plus accountability. All right? It's grace plus accountability. Having one without the other is actually destructive. If you give yourself a whole bunch of grace and no accountability, you're going to let yourself off the hook. If you give yourself a whole bunch of accountability but no grace, you're going to stress yourself out of your mind, right? And you're going to end up damaging your self-esteem. You need grace and accountability as you go through this process. So just to review, the stress management, stress mitigation. Number 1, slow down and just breathe, right? Give yourself 30 seconds. This does not have to be some victim mentality. I'm going to take the day off. No, give yourself 30 seconds to recognize the feeling that you're experiencing and to begin doing something about it. Number 2, identify the cause. Write your list. What is stressing you out? Number 3, control the controllables. Say the Serenity Prayer out loud if you want to, but figure out, what am I in control of? What am I contributing to in my own stress? And what is completely outside of my control? Number 4, make a plan to tackle the things that you can control. Start with the smallest step that you can even think of, and then give yourself some gratitude, some grace, and some accountability. If you do these 5 things, I guarantee you, I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to live a stress-free life, because that's certainly not possible for any of us, but you could at least be equipped with some mental strategies to get yourself out of those stressful situations and to manage it and mitigate it effectively. All right. If you found value from this video, I would love to hear. If you have anything to add to this in the comment section below, I would really appreciate it if you share this video with somebody else that you think could get value from it. Subscribe, notification bell, all those things. You guys know what to do. And I'll see you on the next video. Hey everybody, it's Brandon Burns, and if you enjoyed that video, I'd like to invite you to come visit www.getmentormap.com. It's a completely free resource that I set up to give you access to the best wisdom, advice, and information that I've ever received throughout my lifetime from my mentors. We're talking about people like celebrity entertainers, 8-figure entrepreneurs, Olympic athletes, and I've distilled the absolute best advice that they've ever given me, which has helped me get to where I am today. And I've given it to you in a 1-hour exclusive training that you cannot get anywhere else other than getmentormap.com. I also threw in a workbook for you to do some journaling, some reflection, some coaching questions, as well as a free general admission ticket to my upcoming live virtual event. Go to getmentormap.com, and I'd love to see you there.